And welcome back to the Nose Plays Thea 2. We're going to be picking up our game that we had going the other day. This will be part 3 of this video series on Thea 2 and our first playthrough with Stribog. Actually, I guess technically it's our second because I did a long form introduction to Thea 2 on my very first video. But that being said, we just picked up as winter began. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss the last video, but we didn't get to it, was this right here. So I remember reading this last time winter hit when one of my earlier playthroughs. It seems that recovering health, sanity, and faith requires a fueled camp or village during the winter time. This implies to me that you can heal yourself without a camp. And I don't know if a camp increases your healing or if it's only wintertime that requires this. But my take on this is that recovering health, sanity, and faith only requires a camp or village in the wintertime. Any other time you can just be wandering around the map and you will still continue to heal every turn. So that's something that I have been doing slightly differently than I probably should be doing. This is going to be a really rough time, the next 36 turns or so. The one good thing about winter time is experience points gained for events are doubled. So we want to try to collect as many events as possible during the winter and avoid gathering as much as we can. Maybe try to collect food via trade with other villages, things like that, because it's just not very efficient right now. So let's go ahead and get into the game though. And I'm trying to remember, I think we finished all of the crafting that we had. Yes. So we're basically out of these. We had one topaz left, a little bit of the fur left. Gathering, we're not going to complete that anytime soon. Research, we're 2 turns away from research, so it might make sense to just stick out here for 2 turns just to get this point. But again, that's only going to give us 1. This is really, really bad research. This isn't good research. This is basically what you do when you have nothing else to do. 1 point of this is probably not worth my time. If I could gather something more useful, like some wood and food as well as the furs, I might consider that. But I'm going to go ahead and pass on it for now. So we're probably going to pick up camp here. Before I do pick up camp, this would be a good time to mention what it was I was discussing at the very beginning of this series when I said that I learned something very important in the process of trying to build a very nice ship. And what that thing is any progress that you have on a bar, if you pick up your camp, you lose all that progress if it hasn't completed. But more importantly than that, and this is what absolutely destroyed my game, any materials that you have put into building an item also get lost. And so I had gathered over almost, well, not quite 200 wood, like 160 tier 3 ancient wood, which took me a fair number of turns, mind you. And I had gotten within, I think, 2 turns of completing the construction of my ship. I accidentally broke my camp. And I lost not only all the progress on building of the ship, but I lost all the materials that were part of that cost. So very, very important that before you ever break camp, you make sure you check that you're not building or crafting anything. Or you only do your crafting from your village once you get a village down. There are other reasons to do that because there are some buildings and other advantages that increase your crafting ability. But yeah, be very, very careful when you're building really important things to never accidentally break camp when you're in the middle of construction, because you will lose the resources that you put into the initial build. So, all right. Another thing to mention as we get started here, I am well aware that my microphone issues have popped up, and I am working diligently to try to fix that. Hopefully, I made some changes tonight, and we don't get the weird static and clicking and nonsense that my microphone so often likes to do to me. So hopefully I can get that fixed. But if not, hopefully it's not too much of a distraction, because I'm really disappointed when I go back to watch some of these videos and hear all of the horrible sounds that you guys have to endure. Okay, so we got some options here. There is a quest objective of sorts up here. I believe this is a village. It's probably a scavenger village, but it could be a Slivana village or whatever, human village. I think what we want to do is head up there and talk to these guys, see if we can get some quests, some events to go run and do for them, and also maybe trade for some food. We are kind of low on food at this point. We spent a lot of time crafting, which used up a lot of our food supplies as we were crafting in an area that did not have any food. Let's go ahead and turn this on. That will be helpful. And then, in addition to that, let's go ahead and... Yeah, so we've used up all of our food supplies except for our cooked foods. We have a fair amount of these cooked foods, but it's showing that we only have 17 turns worth of food. So I'm not exactly sure what that's about. Seems like that's not very many turns. We didn't get any new party members that I'm aware of. We just had the one addition. We're still hoping to get a cat from her. I'm not really sure. Either way, I think we're definitely breaking camp. And we can get pretty far, because luckily this terrain isn't too bad. And is there any spot in particular that's going to be better than the others? Probably like right there. This might allow us to gather a little bit of herb and maybe some wood for one turn. Yeah, let's head over that way. Ooh, okay, so we uncovered a point of interest over here. That's good. And we can investigate this. So we hear screeching in some shrubbery. A small furry creature with yellow eyes, sharp teeth. Body is trapped in some kind of orc snare. I'm not thinking that Stribog is any fan of orcs, so we're gonna ignore the text there and help this guy out. It says that he has some kind of poison. Okay, so we can do a concept challenge to try to help the creature. It's a difficulty 2 concept challenge in yellow. Put the creature out of its misery. Or we can just leave it here, it's none of our business, and head out. I think we'll go ahead and do the concept challenge. And let's see what the auto-resolve says. The auto-resolve says victory with injuries. I'm going to go ahead and take this. Victory in a concept challenge doesn't actually keep the injuries, so we should just basically get victory in this case. We managed to cure the poison, patch up the wounds, and the creature perks up within minutes. Gosh, that was a close one. Thank you, my dears. I thank you profoundly. Now it would be tradition to offer up my services as a house demon, for I am a something, but alas, I am otherwise engaged. Still, debts owed are bruises on one's ego, so here, directions to a lair where valuable gifts await your rescue. Now, so long, friends. And with that, it disappears. Okay, cool. So this is going to give us more opportunities for double XP. That would probably be this one over here. That's what I'm guessing. And we can set up camp, we can gather wood, and we can maybe gather some herbs. So let's go ahead and do that since we're out of movement. I definitely want somebody getting some wood. Let's get the 2 worst gatherers on wood. Not quite enough. Oh, I need this in 1 turn. Yeah, that'll work. And then if we put our 2 best gatherers on herbs, we can get that within 1 turn, and that'll give us a little bit. And then these 2 guys, no, they're not going to be able to gather enough of anything to make it worthwhile. Yeah. One thing to note here, notice her gathering's 133, but when I move her over here it's only 40. That's because the herbal efficiency, the gathering in the wintertime, is really bad, so it's actually only 25% of your base rate. So this is your base rate, 25%. There you go. Same thing with wood. You can see his is 62. It looks like we're at 75% efficiency right now with wood. So this is all we're going to be able to do. I don't think we can do any cooking because we don't have any raw materials. So
shaken in direct.
This is just part of the main quest. Double XP for getting it right now though, so that's good. And it looks like our warrior leveled up. A point into strength is almost always the right choice for a warrior. That means he can carry heavier armor, more equipment, and he also does more damage in melee, which is his primary job. I could also take 2 points in Destiny. I don't really see that as being a good fit for this character. He's not really going to be a purple challenge kind of character. So yeah, we're going to take the point in strength. We got our little teeny bit of resources. Breaking camp and heading on. Now, does it make sense to come in and tackle this crow's nest now that we have the hunter? Where is it? Why can't I click on it? There it is. Okay, it's this bush here. I think with our improved characters, we might be able to tackle this now. I don't remember if we get double XP for this. It says for events, I think, right? What does it say? XP gains from events doubled for all characters. So clearing out a den is probably not going to give us double XP. But it is one of the few things we can actually do this turn besides move closer to that. So yeah, let's go ahead and clear this animal lair. So we have a choice to make here. We can just use straight up combat to clear this lair, or we have a hunter in our party which unlocks this other option, concept challenge. It says it may leave less loot, but they'll be gone. I'm going to go ahead and go for the heavier loot. We're pretty adept at combat at this point. We probably just want to leave this character out of any combat, but the rest of the characters are in pretty good shape and can handle themselves quite nicely now. We do need to look at getting some better gear for some of these guys, though. What was the auto-resolve? With minor injuries, huh? Let's go ahead and try this manually and see if I can do better than that. I'm really trying to even remember just from the other day what my characters are all at and their stats and everything. So I notice we do have a really good armor on this guy, which is good. And he's using a sword. That might be our best play on turn 1. But let's just take a look. Whoa. Okay. She doesn't even have a weapon now? She's just running a boar, huh? Why isn't the boar on the child? It seems like the boar should be on the child, but I can't remember why I did that. We want to save the spear attack for after they lay down cards. Yeah, I think we just play this guy. We have a couple of options. We can use Poison Throwing Dagger on turn 1. That would make for a very, very fast attack. It's going to have less damage, but that's a super fast attack at 3.7 seconds. I don't know that that really matters though. Let's just go with the sword. Throw him out there and see what they do. Alright, they're going to save a point. So they have 4 crows and they saved a point, which means they're going to have 3 action points next turn, which means they can play all 3 of their crows that they haven't played, or they could play this crow and another one, so they could play this one twice, or they could play another one twice. So they have basically 3 different options here. I think we just throw out our hunter, maybe? We could just throw this guy out again. This is our most powerful attack. If we put her back here, she's pretty well protected from anything. And then I have 1 point left over. I want to save his attack for later. This guy's attack is okay. And then we also have the boar. Maybe now's a good time to play the boar. No, I think I want to play this character first. Okay, so they did play this card again. So at the moment, this guy's definitely attacking that. He's going to do 9 damage to it. She's going to have an option of any target she wants unless this square gets filled. He's going to get beat down, so we need to put somebody over here to use the board for one of those positions. And then we're probably going to use this guy for the other. I'd like to save him for the very last turn. We could also play this character again. I kind of like that idea. He's got enough shields, he can take a couple hits. Alright, so first strike damage. Is 5. There we go. So that's good to know. It doesn't look like any of these birds have a rear attack, so the spear is only going to be able to hit one of them. This one doesn't go off until 10 seconds. 5 and 9 is only going to be 14. Yeah, I think we're going to need him over here. Just to help soften that one up. And then for my last point, I can play the boar. And we can play the boar right here. Alright, we'll see how this works. So she gets to choose her target. So now I want to see... We can kill this one before it gets to attack. Or we could weaken one of these, which do more damage. But would that be enough? So she's gonna do... Oh, I'm sorry. He's doing 8. So that brings that down to 15. And then he could swing for 9. That's not going to be enough to kill it, though. So yeah, his 8 damage is probably best applied here. That way that one doesn't get a swing. Now her 11 points of damage. I think we definitely should target this one. Uh, 11 brings this down to 12. That's the 9. And then 7, yeah. So that kills that. Alright. We lost some of our shields, took a small amount of damage. I think I could have played that a little bit better. But not much better. We got some eggs now, that's good. We needed some more food. And more importantly, we got some experience. We don't want to be gathering right now unless the gathering is green, because it's very inefficient to gather in the wintertime. Unfortunately, this is a long-term gathering. Terrain artifacts take a long time to get gathered. There's nothing else we can collect while we're right here, so we're just going to end the turn.
As the sun rises high, you feel its... As you observe the world around you, you soon see that the sun's rays are full of odd creatures. These light wisps are trying to attach themselves to you with their tentacles, and you sense their attempt to burn through your body and spirit. Your domain shields you somewhat, but then you also feel the call of this warmth, so sweet and promising.
Which one of these is probably best? Probably the physical resistance. Yeah, we'll just accept that
You remain
outcome.
strong, and the creature's attempts are futile.
Okay.
Seeing their failure, the wisps flicker away towards the sun and disappear. You see burnt carcasses of bugs
we
and
got some
small critters
mithril,
around you,
and
but
we
you
got
also
some
spot a
health
small pack of oddly
blessings
paired
for a little
beings.
while. And we got some more experience, which is really good for leveling. Looks like a bunch of characters leveled up. So let's see. He has really high wisdom already. Increasing his wisdom stat might not be a bad idea. This does affect crafting and gathering. It also has an effect on luck and rituals. This one affects research and crafting. I think it's between these two, and 2 points to wisdom probably makes more sense. For her, Hunter, 2 points in perception, easy choice. It is a little bit more difficult with the 1 point in strength. She only has 4 strength, The reason that you would want to consider strength is A, it not only increases her health pool, but it also gives her a higher carry weight, which makes her better able to equip things like medium and heavier armors and weapons. So I would normally take a point in strength just about any time it's offered to her, but I think it's hard to pass up 2 points of perception. If it were between 1 point of perception and 1 point of strength, I might actually lean towards the strength. But 2 points is too good. This character, I don't really plan on making her good at mysticism. She does have a slightly better wisdom stat than a lot of my other characters, so maybe we'd just make her like a secondary wisdom-based character. And then this character, she's on an odd level up. Odd level ups give you one of these types of abilities. Even level ups allow you to increase your stat points. This is a perception attack, or we just make her better at gathering. She doesn't have any perception in particular, so I think we're just going to make her better at gathering. I really want to get her leveled up again before she grows up. We should take a look at her character card real quick and see. So she's got 13 turns before she grows up, so we want to try and level her up again before then. I do have this out here, but we really need to get to the village.
You come to a small village, and despite the calm weather outside, you see storm clouds hanging over the settlement and lightning dancing threateningly around the palisade.
Okay.
As you walk in confidently, you see several scared faces looking out of their windows at you. Finally, a small group of villagers comes out to face you. The storm. It listens to you. It seems not to touch you. How?
So this is part of the main quest line. This is also sort of part of the tutorial. You get to play this every single time you go through a game of Thea 2. There are different ones you can pick based on your gods and your other attributes. We're just going to use the Stribog quest line.
It's not our fault. It's that fool's Zbigniew. He's chosen too, you see, so we listened. And he said the light is good, and we must worship it harder than the old gods. He said Stribog was a fool that cannot tame his own domain, and that worshipping magic and turmoil was evil. We listened. He's gone to fetch the Lightbringers here. He says it will save us. We begged him not to, but we cannot leave, for everyone who tries gets hit by lightning. It is as if the gods want us to die here. Well, I don't know. We listened to a chosen one once before.
Alright, we're going to use our yellow attribute to try to convince them. This should be pretty easy. And we're not
Your
gonna
logic
bother
is
with that.
sound, chosen. We will not fail the gods again. Here, this is where he went. They hide back in their houses and point in the direction where they last saw Zbigniew.
Okay. More experience and some points with the humans. And we had a quest over here already. I'm not... this is one I remember now. The tutorials don't actually have objective markers on the map. They just randomly pop up. So we'll be walking around and eventually we'll run into this Zbigniew. Unfortunately, we can't interact with the city until we finish this quest. So we need to continue to move. And our movement is greatly impaired. 2, 4. We should be able to get there next turn. Is there anything else I can do from this tile? I can't really cook anything. I don't need to craft anything. Yeah, it's just another end turn. An adventure. As you cross the woodland in search of good resources, you notice the trees are covered with thick cobwebs. charge in and seek out the spiders to kill them. Hunter, find a safe path, or just leave altogether. We're in a position to try to do a challenge, but since we do have a hunter, let's see what the hunter's path provides us. Okay. So we found the spider's nest. We can attack the spiders, or we can set a trap for the spiders, gather what we came for, and leave. Let's consider setting a trap for the spiders. If we fail this challenge, something bad might happen, but we won't actually take any physical damage to our sanity typically. This is showing a pretty easy result, so we'll go ahead and accept that. And 1 permanent point of wisdom for her, that's good. Some meat, we needed that for sure. A bone hatchet, that might come in handy for somebody. Gather what we can and leave, and we got some dryad wood, which is actually really decent wood, and a couple characters leveled up again. So you can see we're getting a lot of experience right now for all of these. And it's actually really helping us level up our characters quickly. Alright, so this guy has high perception. He's pretty well-rounded in his other stats. I'm tempted to take the intelligence on him over the perception, just because I don't think we have many characters that have very high intelligence right now. And this would put him at 6. It's just going to make us overall better in yellow challenges, but it also gives us somebody that we could help do more research with and get research done a little quicker when we need to do that. So I'm going to take that for him. Hold on a second. Okay. I needed to check something there for a second. I really like this ability. It doesn't seem like much right now, but if we level this up, there are certain challenges where this is really, really helpful. Poison throwing dagger is just a very, very fast attack, which can be helpful. It's also useful in yellow challenges. Oof. This is useful in all 3 challenges, but it's mainly going to be what he uses in challenges that are purple or yellow, where he doesn't have very good attacks. I'm going to keep leveling this up. It's been too good for me in the past. And then this character, she's already good in red. She does not have high intelligence. Oh, actually she does. So maybe she gets poison throwing dagger. I do like outmaneuver a lot though. Outmaneuver is a yellow attack that is... it utilizes her perception stat. So she gets to use her melee stat basically in a yellow challenge, and that's the one I want to level up. We've already got a couple points into it, so it's only going to get better as we level this up. Alright, we have 2 movement points, and we cannot use them because this... oh yeah, we can. So we can get to here. Alright, we really need to find more food though. I do actually have the opportunity to cook some food. Because we found 5 steaks, so I could cook some more food from this, which I think we should actually do. So we are going to set up camp for one turn. And I can only do this once, but it'll be a little bit of more food than we would otherwise have.
You come to a place torn up by tremors. Surrounded by deep chasms in the ground lies a small patch of swamp. Within sits what looks like a very large toad, perched on a water lily leaf. It croaks a sad melody.
Okay, so this is the toad quest. Take a closer look, approach it carefully, or kill it. Let's approach it carefully.
The creature turns to you and speaks, his voice surprisingly clear and melodic. Oh, you see me. Oh no, but then, maybe you could. A Chmu I am. I have no name, I think. Not that I can recall. Although now that you mention it, it seems like I should. Have you seen my swamp? I lost it.
Okay, so a Chmu is a type of demon frog thing.
The earth shook, the holes
That
came,
one.
and the swamp was gone. Then everyone left, only me, alone here. And I cannot stomp on dry land, you see. But I know someone who can help. Will you carry me to her?
Okay, agreed to help.
Great. It isn't far, only there. And because you were so kind, here. I hear my spit is good for healing and other stuff.
Okay.
The toad-like creature croaks and spits a green, smelly ball of goo and hands it to you.
Lovely. So we get some green goo, and most importantly, some experience points. I'm not seeing any markers on the map for this one either. Let's go ahead and we got our hams cooked. Go ahead and break camp and see if we can't. Jeez, the movement is just murdering us. Yeah, I don't like this at all. We're gonna maybe get in the water to move the rest of the way once we get this taken care of. This is just taking a long, long time. Do you have any extra movement left? No. No, we don't. We could gather some sandstone while we're here. I don't know that it would be worth burning the wood to do it. It would cost us 2 wood. I'm gonna say no. We can finally get to this. Move the debris. Auto-resolve. Easy done. Gather what we can. We got some berries. That's good. We got some silver and some gold. That's good. And we got some experience. Getting close to leveling up some characters here soon, I hope. Oh my goodness. I can't move at all again. Completely stuck. Okay. Here comes the Zbigniew quest. Ah, new chosen. Come to smite me, have you?
You're honest. Good. Let me tell you though, your puny gods can suck it. I've had enough.
I think SB was right. That really is one of the best lines in the game so far. He sounds angry. We could tell him to stop swearing. Let's go ahead and ask him what
I
he did.
stopped. I was fed up with doing their dirty work. I lived my life, and then when light came knocking, I answered, because I liked their side better.
Okay, so we have different options here. Being followers of the god of harmony and light, I don't think killing him is the right answer. At least not for this playthrough. Also, just leaving him to his own fate is not exactly what we've been asked to do, so we're gonna ask him if we can help him. Give him some peace in his soul.
Zbigniew drops to the floor and swears he will do better. He leaves for the village. Theodore appears.
Magic and harmony calling out for the light of the gods to shine upon this wretched soul. Well done. This is surely the best way to show the power of the gods, eh?
Alright.
Indeed, although confronting Zbigniew was needed for other reasons too. Many stoves burn in our divine kitchens, my darlings. Now, I leave you to your own devices, and the gods will surely call upon your services again. But for now, please stay alive.
Alright, so that's the end of the intro tutorial. And now that that quest is completed, and the weather has ended, we were getting a snowstorm. This is what was killing our movement right here. Reduces visibility by 3 and movement by 2. That's why I was running out of movement so fast. So if I move here, I can get in the water. We definitely want to get in the water, but maybe we want to... Well, first things first, we should head back to the village, right? Now we can talk to these guys?
Well met, friends.
Yeah.
Now that Zbigniew is no longer troubling you or us, we can welcome you properly.
Okay, so a couple of things about the village. Once you get this option, there's a bunch of different options that you can do. Each time you interact with the village, it uses up some of your movement points, and in a single turn, if you have all your movement points, you can do a whole bunch of these actions, but it takes a certain amount of days before they pop back up again, so you can't just keep doing the same action over and over and over again. You gotta give it a little bit of a cooldown in between. One of the actions that I think you should always try to do is visit the tavern and drink. And what this is going to generally do is it's almost always going to give you some food, which is nice. Get some food for free. But there are a couple of other really good events that happen, like this one here, where a character got some max health but lost a little bit of sanity. Not a big deal. So this is actually a net positive because we'll heal that back pretty quickly. The other thing, the other event that can happen here, it's not very regular, but it does happen occasionally, is you can get new children. I'll let you use your imagination and figure out how that might come to be, but you can get new children by visiting the tavern. And that can be something that's very valuable indeed at times. Although, as I did point out earlier in the series, children are often a liability until they grow up. And especially if you're running without a village. For some reason, we lost... Okay, we got in a fight. Yeah. We lost some of our faction loyalty, which kind of sucks. But we'll get it back. We got more movement points, so we can move
Well
here
met,
again.
friends. No longer troubling you or us, we can welcome you properly.
We could visit the food trader. That might be worth doing. Or we could trade. I think I want to trade first. And see if we can get some equipment. We definitely can get rid of some of this equipment and maybe find some better stuff. One thing that I do want to do is... Can I not click on this? Okay, well, let's look at what they have at least. This doesn't look like any of these weapons here are much better than what we already have. But the armors definitely are. I'm a little concerned about the weight. I definitely want all of those. These are really helpful in a variety of situations. I also have a bunch of steel. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch. They have some steel. Do we have any steel? We have 1. That would give us a total of 7. I'm not sure that 7's enough to do anything. So this is a situation where this wood medium armor actually weighs less than this armor because this is made out of metal and stone, both of which are heavy materials, but it has slightly less essence. So this is actually better armor, and it's cheaper, and it weighs less, so more characters can use it. So we'll want to grab that. The coal is always useful if you can afford it, so we'll try to see if we can fit that in there. The tools they have are not particularly exciting. Yeah, and the weapons are kind of mediocre as well. I actually kind of like this one because it has so many different things that it interacts with. So we have snare that we can use in all 3 battles. We get extra shielding in physical and faith-based combat. And we have an attack that can be used in yellow and purples. It's a hammer-based attack, which means it has an AoE. It's actually not bad. Let's see what we might be willing to trade or get rid of here. So this crossbow is similar to the one they're selling. This bone wand we don't really need. This axe I was thinking of holding on to, but we probably don't need this club. And we definitely don't need these. We're going to make new ones that are better. So even just getting down to like this allows us to buy all of that. I'm debating whether to throw this in there. Even though it's not great armor, it's better than no armor. And maybe we can fit it onto somebody. At least until we have other options. We could take the steel. Yeah, let's do that. That puts us right around where we want. The steel's pretty useful. We might be able to find something we can craft for 7 steel. And I can't recall in this playthrough if there's a steel source near us, but we'll take a look on the map. Alright, and then we have 0 points of movement, so all we can do is sort of hang out here another turn. Again, I don't really care to waste any wood farming up stone. So we're just going to end our turn. Fight this pack of beasts, auto-resolve that, get some more food, I like that, and some more experience, I like that. The beast nest is right over here, we could go handle that real quick. Let's go do that. Clear the nest, get even more honey, more experience, and I want to not eat. We already did. I should have done that last turn. If we hadn't eaten that honey, we could have cooked. We have movement points left. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this and see what's over here. A sudden gust of wind heralds the coming of a dirt storm. Push your way through it or try and find shelter. Both of these are concept challenges. We're better at red challenges than yellow, although I think we're getting pretty strong in yellow with a few characters now. I think the 3 means that the reward might be better, so we're going to go with that one. And we get another point of strength, which I will never complain about. Is this a good time to maybe camp and grab some vegetables? Or do we want to get out on the water? I think we want to just get out on the water. We need to sail over here. There's a challenge here that we never got. There's another village over here. And there was a point of interest back here we never got to. Here's that steel that I remembered. So if we need more, we could get it. But one thing I am concerned about is it looks like the Lightbringers have founded a camp over here. I think we're going to have to head over there because that's part of one of our active quests. Yeah. So... let's zoom in here. We have no movement points. We could head back that way really quickly, use the ocean to get over here and then cut across, grab some steel. I think that's probably the right play. Remember, we're trying to complete as many quests as possible. This is going to be a real important level up for her because she's probably not going to get another one. Let's see if we got what we wanted. Oh, they're going to make us wait. Okay. She'll be on the second page here. Okay, so he has a ability. We could take a new ability in Reliable Argument. That's actually really good for him. His super high wisdom stat makes that incredibly useful in yellow challenges. 13 is pretty reasonable. I think we'll take that. I do like luck with our chosen. There's a number of things that luck interacts with, and having your chosen with really high luck can be helpful, but this character is just going to go with more gathering because that's its job. This character... this is a little bit of a difficult choice for me. I do really like the 2 points in perception for him, because it will increase his stat pool a little bit. His health pool will get increased slightly. However, intelligence might also be good. Let's take a look. Yeah, he does have an intelligence-based skill. This one is perception-based, though, so perception increase would actually make this more efficient. So yeah, that seals it for me. I'm going to go ahead and take that. She's got a point in... This is the position that I said we might be in. 1 point in strength. However, I think... Yeah, so she really only just needs the perception. I am going to go ahead and take the point in strength over the point in intelligence, or this will give her a little bit more carry capacity and also increase her health pool a little bit. Showing off, that's actually been a handy ability at times. Luck is not something I care so much for on all my characters. I like to mainly just have the ones that, like the Chosen. Having a really lucky Chosen can be useful. I think it's probably an inferior stat for most things. Let's see. Provides bonus to experience points and improves chance rolls in growing up events. Well, it also provides... I guess that's really it, huh? Bonus XP and growing up events. Interesting. it also interacts with some of like your death rolls, but I guess I'm not 100% certain on that anymore. I've heard it does, but it doesn't say it there, so we'll just take another point in showing off. And we did not get what we wanted. So I needed to get to 4 points in mysticism to have a real shot at potentially turning this chick into a witch. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. I am going to go ahead and take the 2 points in Destiny. We are going to make her a purple specialist, so we'll try to level up her purple stats a lot. But that's kind of unfortunate, and I don't think... Yeah, let's go ahead and move like that. Alright, well, if I'd taken that a little bit slower, I could have grabbed that. I might even go back for it. The challenges out on the water can be a little tricky, but... Still got quite a few turns of winter here to try to get XP, so... Let's go grab that real quick, search the area, dive for it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's actually a really good find. That's an even better find. Wow, that's a really good set of tools. I like that a lot. And some more gold. That's a really good, good thing we went back for that. Alright, and because our bonus, we have a lot of movement. So we can actually get to here, and then still make landfall. Alright. Because it's winter time, she has not been regaining any of these 10 points that we lost from the bar fight. So now's a good opportunity for her to heal up a little bit. Cooking wise, we do have the ability to cook one of these, which we should do. Unfortunately, we only have one guy who's any good at cooking. That happens to be our chosen. Don't have any good research. So yeah, it's just gathering for everybody. I want my gatherers on herbs because I actually want to collect more of. The rest of these materials, I'm not super critical of getting either one. Sandstone's pretty mediocre, but so is bone for that matter. Getting a little sleepy. It's about time to call this one. I think when we finish this Lightbringer village, we'll go ahead and end the video for the night. We can get one turn of that, and then this guy, I mean, go help cook, right? Not that it'll really do much. But we're probably only hanging out here for a turn.
You come across a small hamlet, and you are invited to rest. You get a warm meal, and are invited to listen to folk tales from the old Baba.
Rest.
Woken by a distant tremor,
This is also part
you
of the
rise
main
from the gravel and
quest line.
dust that surrounds you. Mere steps away from you, a deep gash has swallowed the farmhouse that gave you refuge the night before.
Okay, look for
You search the
survivors.
debris for other survivors. There are
looking.
no signs of life. In fact, you realize that it is very quiet and still here, as if time itself has halted. You look, the light dims,
And
before
the
you stands the
Lightbringer
family.
zombies.
Their bodies are twisted and broken from the shattering, but there is a sense of overwhelming harmony, an exuberant blast
this
of
is a
light
harmony.
and order that stifles your mind and soul. The gods favor balance, and these people, or whatever got them, is destroying it. Your bodies freeze and you hear the light calling you, but your bond with the divine keeps you safe for now.
Alright. This is a really difficult challenge at this point in the game. Difficulty 4 red challenge. You don't have good equipment yet. Typically, your party's... Usually you're grown up like we are now, but a lot of times you can get this quest way earlier than I did. Let's go with the Harmony event.
You try to talk, but they do not engage. Do they even hear you? You are unsure. Instead, they try to embrace you, and their light attempts to engulf you. You feel encouraged by your steadfast resolve for peace, but clearly they do not share your belief. Your divine bond protects you, and eventually the enemy moves away, blindly following some unheard call.
And we're going to go ahead and leave. For some reason, she lost 2 faith. I have no idea why this one character lost 2 faith, but everybody got a mental blessing. That seems a little odd. Anyways, I guess the child lost faith because she saw we couldn't do anything to help him. Maybe that makes a little more sense when you put it that way. Alright, let's try to grab these 2 blues, and then we'll probably, like I said, call it a night. Scout the area or search the ruins. I haven't quite figured out, like, this particular quest pops up quite frequently, and I haven't figured out if there's one of these that I prefer over the other. They sort of have like a little RNG event attached to each one, and depending on what you're in need of, one of them is better than the other one, it seems. Let's just search carefully, and let's go ahead and fight because we can. We're pretty healthy. We don't really need to do the cards for that one. The reward is pretty mediocre, but we increase our blessings, which are nice. And we did get some sandstone. We also got some research materials, so this is actually really good. The research material you get from fighting monsters gives you a fairly significant number of those research points. It takes a little longer to research than the normal free one that you get, but you get a lot more points for it when you complete it. Let's go ahead and keep moving. Oh, we can't quite get there. Okay, well... got Shadow Bone. I mean, I could get to this leather. We could collect some leather and some bone. Camp for a turn. Get my 2 best on leather. Get my next 2 on bone. No food we can do. We'll allow them to go ahead and eat that then. There's no reason to hold on to it otherwise. We got tons of wood, so we're good for that. We're not going to freeze to death this winter. But we could do this research, maybe. See, we get 15 points for a little less than double what we get 1 point for over here. So this, again, is almost never worth doing unless you just have somebody who's really good at it that can do it in 1 or 2 turns of gathering. But we don't actually have anybody that's particularly good at research. In fact, if I click here, you can see my warrior, Sikmir, is actually my best researcher at the moment. I was kind of surprised that my chosen's not a little higher, but I guess wisdom doesn't really help research. It's mainly intelligence. So my 3 highest intelligent characters, well, that's not right either. Huh. What is this? So this is intelligence, mysticism, and destiny. That's what it is. So it's the purple and the intelligence stat. And that's why he's higher than most of these other characters. Maybe. Maybe there's something else going on here. The inventor's aid. Yep. We did put that on him. In fact, speaking of inventor's aid, let's go to equipment. Because we have this now. So my two characters that have something like this are the Chosen, who has increased crafting at 35%. I think we'll probably just leave that on him. She's got the wand. Yeah. This is going to be too heavy. These are just way too heavy for her. Even this lighter one. Why is that the case? Yeah, she can carry that. Okay, well, we can throw that on her, and then we can move one of these to this other character. This is increased gathering and increased rituals. Before I apply this, let's see who is my best character for rituals. So it's going to be either him or her because of their high wisdom, I think. So we'll put this tool on her, maybe. Yeah. So this one could go on her. And then my best researcher is him. But he's already got a tool, but maybe we add this one. One or both of these guys would be good. So back to equipment. So this is a dark gathering tool. Okay, yeah, this is increasing rituals. Both of these are pretty good. Let's put the 2% bonus ones on my two gatherers. Because they're going to benefit the most from percent bonuses. And then we'll put the regular gathering, just flat gathering tools on all the other characters. And I'll leave this one on him for now, because he occasionally helps out with crafting. Okay, this suit of armor. 12 points of armor. He's only got 11. So we can put the 12 on him, and then move her into there, and maybe throw that onto her. That looks okay, and then I've got this hatchet. Is the hatchet better than, say, my two melee characters? 14 damage versus 12, but the 12 damage comes with a first strike. It also has reach, which means he can use it from the front or the back line. So I got more flexibility but slightly less damage. The delay is longer, so it's not a very quick attack, but I really like having the spear. The spear feels a lot better when you also have a shield, which we don't yet. And then the sword, obviously, it feels better when you have a shield as well. Maybe we do throw the bone hatchet onto our warrior until we do get a shield. I'd be okay with that. We'll keep the iron sword, obviously, but yeah, I'd be okay with that. Alright, and then we already got that figured out. Nothing there. 5 turns, we're not waiting for that. Let's do the one turn of gathering and move on. Alright. So there's another group here. We can investigate, we can leave, or we can just straight up attack them. Let's investigate first. Okay, this makes the challenge easier. We could intimidate them, we could approach them with a deal, or we could attack them. I'm down to intimidate them. I don't really want to give them anything. I have a wolf. What looks like a yellow-based character. This character has a boar. And this got slightly higher strength, but is still using a wand. His purple stats are pretty decent, though. Auto-resolve shows minor damage. We'll go ahead and accept that. Alright, we run them off. And we gather the loot, and we didn't find anything super exciting, although the food is a welcome. Actually, that bow might be slightly better than the one that we're currently equipped with. So her bow is a 1.3, but his is a 1.2, so we can move that on him. That's good enough for now. And I think that's where we're going to wrap it up today. So, that being said, I hope you're enjoying this series, and I do hope when I go back and listen to this that the microphone issues have resolved themselves. If not, if you have any advice on how I might fix that, I've had this intermittent issue with microphones, and I've occasionally fixed it, and then sometimes I get a driver update or something else seems to cause it to come back, and I have to struggle to figure out what's causing it again. So let me know in the comments if you have any ideas and it's persisting, but I think maybe I found the setting that was causing the problem. So cross your fingers and hope. And I'll probably be on tomorrow again, so if you want to join me, feel free to jump in and type in the chat. But until next time, this has been The Nose Plays. I'm having a blast, and we'll see you then. Have a great night.